AITA for getting irritated on a family trip? I, 23F, went with my family to Disneyland and California Adventure for a few days. My older cousin Bianca, 28F, invited me to come with her family to celebrate her child's 5th birthday. I was excited to go, especially since I had never been to California Adventure before. When we arrived in LA on Thursday, we had a lot of fun. But ever since we got into LA and up until the day we left, their child has been crying a lot, which has been putting me and everyone else in a really bad mood because it felt like no matter what we did to please this child, it wasn't good enough. But I would just try to brush it off and try not to let it get to me because I know this trip wasn't about me. It was about the child enjoying her birthday weekend. But still. Anyways, when the day finally arrived when we went to California Adventure on Friday, we were all very excited. But when we got into the park, we didn't get on any rides except for the Little Mermaid ride for their child. My older cousin Bianca hated going on rides, her boyfriend wasn't enthusiastic about them, and their child was scared of every single ride, even the kiddie ones. I thought we would at least try something simple together as a family like the Ferris wheel, the Cars ride, the Incredicoaster, or something easygoing but exciting, but we didn't do anything. So, I decided to relax in the hotel room while they window shopped. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to spoil anyone's time, and plus it was the child's birthday weekend, so I didn't want to make it all about me. But the trip to California Adventure was really boring. I felt like I wasted my money on nothing. The next day, Saturday, was the child's birthday. My aunt drove to LA to meet up with me so we could start putting up birthday decorations in the hotel room while my cousin and her family went to Disneyland. When we finished decorating, the child and her family returned to the hotel room, and we all surprised her, saying "Happy Birthday," and watched her open her presents. After celebrating, my aunt and I planned to leave LA around 4 p.m. to head back home that day. I was really looking forward to leaving because, at this point, I was socially and mentally drained. I told my aunt I was going to the pool and would be back around 3:30 p.m. so we could leave. Just as I was about to leave the pool, I got a call from my cousin telling us she had booked a room for my aunt and me to stay another night. When I heard the news, I was slightly irritated because I really wanted to go home, but I didn't want to seem ungrateful. I could tell my aunt was happy to stay, so I bit my tongue and tried to put on a happy face, even though I was crying on the inside. Haha. Sunday came around, and I was extremely tired and cranky, but I didn't want to show off my attitude, so I tried to keep my composure and make the most of it. I met up with my family at the pool around 12 p.m. My aunt didn't seem to be in a hurry to leave, and I didn't want to rush her either because I wanted her to enjoy her time. However, I wish she could have communicated with me in some way to let me know when she wanted to leave, but she didn't. I didn't want to bug her about it, but I was personally hoping she would tell me that we would leave early in the afternoon before the traffic got bad. While hanging out with my family, my aunt and cousin kept constantly asking if I was okay, which was starting to annoy me as I was only trying to relax. Their frequent questions became so irritating that instead of me telling them that I'm okay or that I'm good, I resorted to just giving them a thumbs up because I was tired of answering the same question over and over again. On top of that, they were treating me like a baby, sometimes even using baby talk. To avoid losing my temper, I decided to distance myself from them. The longer we stayed, the more worried I became that we might have to stay another night, especially since my cousin kept hinting at that becoming a possibility. Feeling defeated, I went to the bar to have a couple of drinks to calm myself. Seeing no end in sight, I decided to have 2 small drinks. After hanging out at the pool with them, my aunt told me she was going up to my cousin's room to relax. At that point, I felt resigned to the idea that we were definitely staying another night. So I decided to get some food and get another drink at 2 p.m. Then I met up with them in their hotel room at 4:30 p.m. I saw my aunt relaxing on their couch, looking ready to sleep. I relaxed out in their balcony and minding my own business. Their child kept wanting to play with me and I said, "Not right now, I'm not in the mood to play." And then the child started to cry and I could sense my cousin and aunt giving me the death stare when I did that. Mind you, my cousin and aunt are like mama bears. They get angry or sensitive really easily if you say something to them or the child in a wrong way in their eyes. That's another reason why I sometimes have a hard time communicating with my aunt and cousin, because sometimes they gang up on other people who have a different opinion than them and make it a bigger deal than it needed to be. I felt guilty for what I did to the child, so I decided that I probably just need to calm down and just take a walk this time. I told them I was going to relax in the lobby. Then I got a passive-aggressive text from my cousin asking where I was and saying that my aunt had been waiting for me all day so we could go home. Yeah, right? But okay. Shortly after, I called my aunt to discuss our leaving, and then she started to ask why I kept disappearing and why I had an attitude. I told her that I had been ready to go home a long time ago, but didn't want to spoil anyone's fun. I explained everything about how I felt and how confused I was about whether we were leaving or not, so I just gave up and did other things to pass the time. She then made me feel guilty about my behavior. So, I don't know. Was I acting like a jerk? Could I have handled it better? Or was trying to fake a smile the best thing to do when someone does a nice gesture for you, even though you were secretly miserable?